Anyway, dudes, let's jump in. So this is my track. This is, actually, I think it's in my history. We're at Red Bramble Raceway, RBR. And from what I've seen... Okay, Alan... Is Alan in chat today? I don't know if I've seen Alan today. Also, where the heck is my mouse? There it is. Oh, Alan got a low 18. So Alan says first time running the track and tune, easily can get sub 18. He got a 118.038, basically a 118 dead. Sunken, I know I saw you in chat. I saw you got a 119.3. So that I think that's all we've seen. I think that's all we've seen so far. So maybe 117s is the goal. I don't know at all how to tune this car. Is the other issue. Because this does not, I think, well, wait, does this just use normal race tires? Oh, the graphics are like the drag slicks, right? Yeah, how do you tune drag slicks? What, I don't know what tire pressure you're supposed to use for drag slicks, on the stock car. I've got 31.5. Running 1.2, for camber. I've got max front, min rear. I don't know if that's been touched at all. Full max aero. Max lock on the diff, 40 on the rear. I don't know on the stock car in general. I think it's 15 and 17 on drag. Yeah, I think that's the case for drag racing, but I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to look at like some of the lower, like some of the front wheel drive cars that still use drag tires. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll play with it. Let me, let's just warm up a little. Oh yeah, it's very slippery. It's auto upgrade time? Yeah, baby. Here, let me get the music going. Does you Grundy have a tune for this car? Good question. Good question. I should use that. Most online stuff is 15 to 17. Okay, we'll play with that then. Let's get like, let's establish kind of some baseline laps. Let's establish some baseline laps. And then start messing with some stuff. Just so we know where we're starting. Remrez, usually it would be. Usually it would be. We'll see. I'll experiment with it. Okay, outlap. I mean, doesn't matter, I guess. Definitely can take that faster. A lot of it's throttle management coming out of the corners. Kind of drag tire thing. Otherwise, you oversteer. Yeah, Brainbow. This has the Brainbow Tech trees. It does indeed. Really let the car run wide, I think. On those exits, just to get all that acceleration. Gonna go off a little bit there. That's flat. There we go. That's a little bit better. Ah, that was not better. All right. Well, we got a lap though. Starlight. No, with anything in Forza competitive, the checkpoints are the rules. That's it. The checkpoints are the rules. And I made this track, so that was a 19.4. Okay. Hey, we're sub 20. That's good. Yeah, corner cutting doesn't really benefit you. There's like one spot on this track where maybe you could get a little bit of a benefit from corner cutting, maybe, depending on the car. But with the way checkpoints are laid out, there's really no benefit to cutting corners. And there's no penalty for it either. And that's kind of how it goes in most Forza comp stuff. I can look. I haven't actually looked at the rules for this league specifically, but I would assume it kind of follows the general guideline of Forza comp stuff, which is just, as long as you're within the checkpoints, you are within the rules. The only things that you'll get penalized for are like dive bombing. Like dive bombing other players. And, you know, crashing other people, making bad moves, stuff like that. Okay, I think this will be a 18. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that was still a 19. Okay. All right, so we've got maybe our baseline established here. Oh, this is feeling... Oh, I'm feeling a little bit better, actually. Well, I should actually look at the rules, because I haven't. But again, generally, as long as you're, like, not being a dingus, you're going to be within the rules. It's not like you need to, like, know the sporting code, 2 tires out, you know, stay within the white lines, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing like that. At least I would assume. Ah, I screwed it up. Ah, that's going to cost me a lot of time right there. Dang, that was a good lap otherwise, I think. Came in too hot on that. Yeah, throttle management is key. What if the rules say be a dingus? Oh, no! I think this will also be like a mid-19. Okay. So we can definitely get into the 18s with where we're at. That was really wide. But I think it's time to start messing with tune stuff. And the first thing we'll do is tire pressure. We'll finish out this one lap. Because I think if I didn't screw up that one left-hand bend, like, towards the back half of the track, I think that would have given me a sub-19. I think that would have given me, like, a high 18. And I'd like to... I want to see it. Although this is not as good of a lap. It's a little better. I know if you take that better, you can be more on it. Gotta let that come through. Otherwise, you push too wide here. Okay. Rainbow. It would be funny to hide stuff like that in the rules. And just not tell anyone, because no one would check. We know. People can't read. Ah! Hey! Alright, we broke into the 18s. We're still about a second off what I think is good pace. Because Alan got a low... Alan got a 18 dead. So we're about a second above Alan. And I'm just having fun doing laps. So we've got some work to do. And some of that's obviously going to be driver work. A lot of it's probably going to be driver work. But, yeah, I do want to at least get a tune I'm comfortable with. This does feel pretty good, to be honest. Yeah, just got to be careful of oversteer. I think that just saps so much time out of this. Reference Allen's on a 9. Oh, Alan's on a 9-race win streak. Okay. Well, now I just have to... that's good, actually, because now I know I need to beat him. And break his 9 race... Okay, so he's fast. That was, I think, another, like, mid-19. Okay. Let's mess with tune stuff. Oh, in addition to qualifying time, I also need some pics of your car for livery. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. All right, let's drop tire pressure and see how that feels. You guys were saying 15 to 17, so let's just go 16. Okay. Okay, there we go. So what we're looking for are, like, comfortable 18s. I can already tell the car feels softer. It might, yeah, it might be better. Yeah, I feel like that is definitely better. More rotation. More grip under rotation. Fast is slow, smooth is left. We got Halo playing in the background. It's a little tricky there. Oh, that's much better there. Okay, this feels way faster. We'll see. This is just our outlap. But yeah, I have a lot more, like, confidence in the tire grip. It's softer, but you get a lot more. That was slow. Not too slow, but Brainbo. It's my track. I could, but I already made the blueprint for him. Okay, I don't think I need to double downshift there. Oh, Mars is in chat. Hey, Mars comes out of the woodwork when we're playing Horizon 5. I love it. Mars, how do you tune these stock cars? Oh, I messed that up. Oh, I messed that up really bad. That was a bad corner. Okay, so this was not a good lap. But let's still see what we get. Let's still see what we get here. Too much oversteer. Yeah, this is going to be a mid-19. Oh, a high 19. But again, it wasn't a very good lap. That wasn't necessarily the right line. Let it run out. This is a little bit better so far. Kind of V'd that out more than I think you should. That's really not the line. But we're going to run with it. That's such a tricky section in this car because it's so soft. I feel like maybe staying in second. Last corner is always so important. Well, that was pretty good. Oh, this will be good. Ooh, hey, okay, there's a mid-18. There's a mid-18, that's pretty good. Yeah, this car definitely shifts a little slow. It definitely does. So if I swapped to manual with clutch, I'm sure I would gain a decent bit. But I'm lazy and bad, and I'm not gonna do that. Okay. Let's finish out this lap, and then we'll mess with the tune a little bit more. But this actually feels nice. Ah, too late, and I kind of swung it out. I keep screwing that section up. Losing time there. A little bit wide there. Yeah, that's just awkward. That was bad. Yeah, not a strong finish here. Yeah, this is for Pro Stock Cup, run by Kyle and the gang. And they asked me to do this race. Okay, that was another, like, mid-18. Okay, that's feeling pretty good. All right, now what did Mars say about tuning? Min suspension, off-road diff. Ooh, I don't know if I can change the diff. Obviously, it doesn't affect PI. Kyle, can you confirm that for me? Can you change things that do not change the PI, or are you stuck with, hold on, let me go to livery, rules, race control, season 2 schedule, car specs, here it is. Racing V8, race brakes, max front and rear track width, all other parts must be stock. PI needs to be S2 912. So I'm guessing it is at the least against the rules to swap to off-road diff. Unless I just don't tell anyone. Yeah, we haven't touched gearing at all. Well, I take that back. I think I did. I think I turned a final drive down, but I haven't like looked at that. There's my alignment stuff. ARBs are 65-1 because otherwise I find myself it's way too tail happy for me. I doubt that's fast, but it like keeps it. I don't find myself understeering, and it keeps it from like rotating the rear. You'll also probably not like my aero settings. This I think is just stock. I don't think I messed with that. Ride height's min. We can try. I think Mars was saying min for the suspension as well. ARBs I don't think I touched. Aeros max because again I struggle to keep the rear end in check. Braking hasn't been touched, and then diff is 140. But yeah. Yes. Yeah, all the differentials have slightly different feels to them. Yeah. That's why there's different diffs. Yeah, they all feel a little bit different. Yeah, what do we want to try? I mean, I guess we can try minimum suspension, see how that feels. Yeah, they're all different. Try 65? Yeah, we'll try that. We'll see how that is. Oh, max ride height. Oh, yeah, I suppose that is kind of the meta strat for Forza, isn't it? Yeah, it just defaulted to minimum, and I don't like to do those meta things, but this is where it matters. This is where it matters. It's on drag tires, I'm pretty sure, Mars. It's on the drag tires. Okay, we're getting more rear rotation here. So I gotta be wary of that. Pretty high pressure. That's right, Mars, you said high for drags. Yeah, it's the stock tires, but I think it borrows the drag tire compound. Although I could be wrong about that. It could just be a custom tire. I don't know. I don't know enough about this car. They look like the drag tires. So my assumption is that it's the drag tires. Now we did, yeah, we started at like 31, 31. And then we went down to 16, and I did like how it felt. But now we can try going higher. We can go, I don't know, what's the high? Yeah, I think you can get up to like 50s. But we can play with it. Okay, I'm learning it again a little bit here. Learning a little bit. Oh, they're visually drags, but probably closer to the super slicks. Okay. They're like maybe a little bit of a crossover between the race slicks and the drag tire. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, the drag tire rule set, or you know, tire pressure guidelines maybe shouldn't be followed. There you go. Hey, Alan's here. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. I've gotten an 18.4. And we're messing with the tune right now. We're trying to lock in. I'm getting the pro strats. I'm calling in all my favors to try and lock in a good tune here. Let's close out this lap. I think I gotta brake later and harder to get back on throttle sooner there. Yeah, it's just a little bit harder to manage throttle, but I think this will be a mid-18. Yeah, it's an 18.6, so not necessarily an improvement. But it's not like I'm consistent enough at the track anyway. I think the suspension is good. I don't know if I want to run 65-65, though. I might go back to 165. Let me try that. What a drag. Oh, yeah, wait. Did I get confirmation? Can you change the diff in the league, or is that against the rules? We're going to go back to 65-1. Change one thing at a time. All right, let's try that. And then, oh yeah, did we want to try? Oh, okay, I am free to change it. Okay, cool. Let's go do that then, because I do want to feel that out. Because a lot of times when I'm on the race diff and I switch to something like the off-road diff, it makes a pretty noticeable difference in feel. Especially in cases like that where like the rear is a little slippy. Okay. You can tune however you'd like it. Well, yeah, but that's a different component. That's a different part. So I just want to, make sure I'm not breaking the rules. Off-road and rally are both easier on throttle. And yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they feel a little more stable. Okay. Some upgrade. Nope, wrong button. So there's the rally and the drift. Oh, I just have those two options. Okay, so we'll do rally. Right? Rally would be the better option? Yeah, use rally. Okay. Oh, wait. Hold on. Racer says it does have to be stock diff. You can just tune it how you like. Okay. Never mind. I take it back. You guys didn't see me do that. Okay. Oh, Frostbite said it can't. Oh, we got. Oh, hold on. We gotta call in the FIA, the rules guys here. Call race control, tech inspection. Hello. Which diff? Yeah. Okay. Dan has the final word. All right. You got it. It's done. Oh, I'll be in the pace car for the formation lap. Think I might take the vet. Nice. All right, so we'll go back. Let me just put this. I had it at 140, but we can obviously mess with that a lot. Run lower diff, you think? 30-0? All right, let's try it. Because, yeah, running 100 diff is probably not helping. Running 100 Excel is probably not helping it feeling slippy. No worries, Kyle. I'm glad, you shouldn't need decel on this. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. I am running ABS. Yep. All right. Cool. Yeah, we'll run with the stock diff for now. If you guys have if you guys figure out something else on that, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just run with stock. Okay. So, okay. Tire pressure, we want to mess with tire pressure. I'm back to 65 and 0. But we are running different diff settings. Let me just run it with this. Let me try with a different diff. Again, I don't like messing with too much stuff at once. So let me just feel out how the diff is. Okay, now I'm definitely getting a lot more understeer, which in a way is good. Way better on exit. You can just slam the throttle on exit, and the lower XL keeps you going. Yeah, this feels much more stable. So that might let us run 65-65 ARBs instead of 65-1. But let's just do a hot lap here and just feel it out. Hey, you bet, Alan. Thanks for stopping by. Glad to see you. I'm hoping I can ruin your win streak. Yeah, way more comfortable on the acceleration. I mean, it's a little bit slower coming out of the corners, but it's also much more confident. That kind of felt slow. I know. I am so curious. It's funny, like, we haven't really talked about it because I guess I'm not concerned about it. But I am so curious how different, like, the meta is going to be as far as tuning goes. Like, I wonder how different the game's going to feel. Because in all honesty, I wouldn't even be upset if it's, like, the same. Like, I want, you know, maybe some incremental improvements. And I expect we'll get something. But yeah, like, we haven't really talked at all about how the game's gonna feel. Hopefully better braking. Dude, absolutely, yeah. I know that's what a lot of the comp players complain about, is the braking feel. So the thought is, like, maybe they learn some of the good stuff from Motorsport and then carry over some of that. Okay, so that was a 19.5, but that was also just kind of a bad lap. And I'm a little understeery now. Horizon 6 is literally unplayable if they remove breakdancing. I have a feeling it'll still be there. I have a feeling not much is going to change. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, are we gonna get ballast? Are we gonna get the new suspension stuff that Motorsport got? Like, are we gonna get, like, the tire model stuff that Motorsport got? Like, the more points of contact kind of thing? Or are they just gonna be like, hey, no, everybody likes how Horizon feels in general anyway. Let's roll with it. Which, again, would be fine. Like, every game since Horizon 3, I've been like, yeah, the game feels good enough. Like, it doesn't... And then every game, it kind of feels better. So, yeah. fully expecting Horizon 5.5, and I'm cool with that. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I kind of am too. All right, that was a little bit better of a lap. It's not like we really cooked, but that's an 18.8. All right, let me try 65 ARBs all around. So they have a huge push towards time attack, and turn 10 merged with them. I feel like geometry tuning has to be added. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the motorsport tuning stuff. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I don't want motorsports physics at all, but I do think there are things they could pull from motorsport that would still be a boon to Horizon. All right, now we're not getting that understeer anymore. But let's see how confident we can be coming out of corners. Actually, now it's a little oversteery. Okay, so we gotta balance that a little bit. Or just get good at throttle control. One or the other. Yeah, it's a little bit, it wants to step out now. Maybe we'll put the rear ARB like somewhere in the middle. That'll just be kind of our tuning tool. Our adjustment slider. Oh, lead physics guy for Motorsport got let go during the layoffs. Damn. That kind of sucks. Although I know Horizon has their own... Oh, God, what the heck is his name? Isn't it an Alan? Horizon has a physics guy. I know he's been on the Let's Go streams before. Hopefully he didn't get let go. Ha 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 ha. Oh. Yeah. So submit your quali by Saturday, and that car meets later. Yeah, you bet. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, I still have to go through and like actually look at everything and make sure I'm up to spec and know all the rules. A little more depth and weight to the cars. It's tricky. It's tricky, because again, I really like how Horizon 5 feels, and I don't want them to mess with it too much. I don't like how Horizon, or how Motorsport feels on a controller. But it's tough, because some people do. Some people really like how Motorsport feels. I don't. I think it feels fine. But I much prefer Horizon. I don't want it to feel more like Motorsport in a lot of ways. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, yeah, I'm struggling a little more with consistency here. And yeah, like maybe if you kind of just, if you take Motorsport and like remove the chronic understeer, maybe it does feel really good. I don't know. All right, yeah, that was not a great lap. All right, we're not making time here. Let's bring ARBs down to the middle. Let's run like 65-30 and see how that is. And then we still haven't messed with tires. I think I saw Mars say like 35. Let's just try. Let's just try 35 and just see how that feels. We're messing with two things at once, but whatever. I might have made it a bit harder for you, but it'll be faster. Yeah, that's the struggle. Is balancing pace with skill issue. I think this might be a kind of a nice middle ground. Was Horizon 2 arcadified Motorsport 5 or identical? Horizon has always been an arcadified version of Motorsport. Early on in the marketing, they said, like for Horizon 1, they just said it was Motorsport's physics, but it wasn't. From the beginning, they have always been taking the Motorsport formula and like messing with grip. and messing with braking and making it just a little easier. Which I think is a good thing. I don't think that's bad. But yeah, all the Horizon games have been more arcadified versions of motorsport. Did I pre-order the upcoming game? No. I am fortunate enough to probably be someone who will get a review copy, so I'm a bad person to ask about that. But in general, my rule is never pre-order. And I know I say that from kind of a privileged standpoint, because again, I probably won't have to pay for the game, just being honest. But in general, my general gaming advice is never pre-order. Wait for reviews. Always wait for reviews. Unless, you know, if you're a big Horizon diehard and you know you're going to play the game, go for it. Like, it's your money at the end of the day. But if you're at all on the fence, just don't pre-order. Wait for reviews. I just always think it is... They're not going to run out of copies. You know? You can always get the game. There is, you know, obviously they tease you a little bit with some FOMO. You know, if you pre-order the deluxe or whatever, you can play 4 days early. I get it. It would be hard to resist. I understand. And yeah, you know, I think it's going to be a good game. I put 2,000 hours into Horizon 5. I know, because it's my job. Like, I'm going to put a lot of time into Horizon 6. So even on the assumption that I wasn't going to get a free copy, like a review code for the game, I would pre-order it, personally. But the general advice, the smarter thing is always, like, don't pre-order unless you're 100% confident in the product. Yeah. Historically, Potato, I have gotten the best edition. Yeah. Because they want, you know, they want the creators to have the nice things. Yeah. But again, even that's not a guarantee. You know, I don't want to, like, I don't want to sit here and be like, I don't have to pay for the game, because then they're gonna be like, well, screw you. No, you don't. Like, you're gonna buy it. But yeah, like, just so people understand my bias, it's a lot easier for me to you know, sit on a bit of a high horse and be like, no, don't pre-order things, because I am more, you know, more likely to not have to spend my money on it. Come see me, Japan? Dude, you will. I'll be there. I will be there. All right, the car's feeling better. I got a 19.2. I still almost feel like we're downhill from where we were, though. That's another 19.2. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna drop my tire pressure again. We're gonna go 65.1. 140. Just as like just to set the barometer here. What else did we mess with? Let's leave tire pressure. Let's try this. Let's try this. We'll see if we get any pace here. Because I feel like right now I'm kind of stuck in the low 19s. And I just don't feel quite as confident as I did when whoa, that's a ton of rotation. Wait, whoa. Okay, hold on. What did we do? I dropped rear ARB. Oh, and I went to 140. That's what I did. I went to 140 for the diff. Okay, maybe that's where the rotation's coming from? Because it's like the Excel diff. Yeah, now this doesn't feel good. Okay, hold on. Let's give it a lap to, like, readjust. Yeah, it just kind of feels understeery. Ever played iRacing? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would consider myself a casual iRacer. Like, I just did 2 iRacing races last night. One of which was a nightmare. Completely my fault. I was doing great until I pitted myself on somebody. And then I got second in the other race. That was pretty good. That felt nice. But yeah, I am a a casual iRacer. Which ones? Last night I was doing D-class stuff because I didn't want to wait, or D-license stuff. I was doing the GR Cup. I have a C license, and I am eligible. I'll be promoted at the end of the season to B. But yeah, I was doing the GR Cup at, oh god, what's the name of the track? It starts with an R, I think. Not a very famous, like, popular track. Ah! I looked away. Shoot. Alright, well, there goes that lap. Okay, this feels... Alright, we're gonna go back to that. We're gonna go back to low tire pressure. I want to just go back to the tune I was running and see if I'm still getting 16 or 18s. There we go. You're in the same boat, trying to get to C 4.0 so I can fast track to B. Nice, yeah. I've been at a C license for a while, but I haven't played in a long time. I haven't played at all this season until last night when I did 2 races. And then, yeah, I got I was at, like, my safety rating was at, like, 2.97. I did 1 race and got a 5X. Well, got a total of 5X. And that brought me down to, like, 2.92. And then I did 1 more race, just got a 2X and got 2nd. And that brought me up. And now I'm at, like, 3.5. So I'll get the promotion. I still need to do 2 more races in the season, but that's whatever. Yeah, as long as I do those 2 races and don't completely screw it up, I'll graduate to a B license. And if I want, I mean, I could try to fast track it, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I'm a very casual player. I think in total, I've probably done 20 to 30 races on iRacing. Like, ever. If I was in charge, Hoki's SR would be dopey near him. If you would have seen the first race last night, you'd be correct. It was complete. I mean, I was the only one that suffered from it. I was doing very, very well. I was, like, gaining position. I qualified, I think, 11th, which was not good. I just kind of... I didn't have a lot of practice going in. And I didn't do good quality laps. And I was in split 2, so I was in the second highest split. So yeah, I qualified 11th. And within the first, like, couple laps, I think I was up to, like, P6. Somewhere between P6 and P8. I don't fully remember. But I was, like, doing well, gaining position. And then somebody that I had passed made a pretty bold move in a pretty bad spot. But, like, totally legal. Just kind of like a bad... Like, just kind of a spot where you get squeezed out. Again, not their fault whatsoever. And I thought they were going to back out from it. Because that's what people do most of the time. And they were like right here. On a right-hand bend. I was this car. They were behind, coming into the corner. And we were like front bumper to rear bumper. Like, they were barely aside me. And I thought that they had backed off more than they did. So I came into the apex and just pitted myself. And I saved it. I actually saved it. But, and he didn't get any significant damage, which was good. But then, because I got slowed down, somebody just slammed into me. Like, I mean, it's not really their fault. It's whatever. But, you know, I, like, went sideways through this corner, snapped it back, was, like, getting back on track, was like, okay, that wasn't so bad. And then someone just, like, boom! Just slammed into my rear end. And it was right past the pits as well. So I couldn't just drive into the pits. I had to complete another full lap. with like really bad damage, and then go to the pits and wait for like, 20, 30 seconds to get my car repaired. So I got last. I got last. Well, second to last, because somebody got disqualified. Yeah, I got second to last in that race. That was not good. But it was net positive last night, because I got second in the next race, because I didn't pit myself on anybody. And I don't even know where I picked up 2x. Not that it matters. 2x is fine, but that race was like squeaky clean. I think one was an off track, but I don't even know where the hell it was off track. Also, I'm sure you can hear my dogs, and I apologize. And then the other, it said I think was contact, but I don't know what the hell kind of contact it was. No, Stiggy, it's fine. It is my name, but I don't make a strong effort to hide my name. It's Rob Weinman. R-O-B space W-E-I-N-M-A-N-N. That's me on iRacing. All right, by the way, interesting thing. Yes, my name is Rob. Hi. It's not Hoki. I know. I know. It's weird. It's weird. The veil has been lifted. The curtain. It's been parted. My real name's not HokiHoshi. The illusion shattered. For a long time, actually, people did get before I streamed a lot, especially. People did think my name was like HokiHoshi and that I was Asian. And there was a good like year, the first year or so I streamed, all the time people would be like, "Wait, you're a white guy?" And I guess I would have always just figured people would have like picked that up from my like Minnesotan accent. But I guess not. And like I get it. It's, when your name is like something, that sounds Japanese, people are just going to assume, people are going to make up like a mental image of what you look like. But they're like, "Wait a minute, you're just this white guy with a beard. What?" What do you mean your name isn't Hoki? Man, my dogs are going nuts, by the way, today. I don't know what it is. You're not Asian? No, I am approximately 0% Asian. As far as I know, anyway. As far as I'm aware. I've never done a 23andMe. But yeah. Where did HokiHoshi come from? If you go to my website, you can actually find that out. A lot of people thought Don Joon Song was Korean for the longest guy, and he's a white guy from York. Yeah, right. I probably thought that. Yeah, HokiHoshi comes from, it's kind of a bastardization of what the Japanese people call the Pleiades star cluster. So, to like get nerdy about it, I used to be a big Subaru guy, and I still am kind of a Subaru guy. I don't own a Subaru anymore, but I used to be like a big Subaru fanboy. And Subaru, the logo for Subaru, is the Pleiades star cluster, which in Japan is called Subaru. So if you ever wondered, a little car lore for you, the reason Subaru is called Subaru, and they've got like stars on their logo, that's a real star cluster that you can look up in the sky and see, and the Japanese people call it Subaru. In the West, though, we call it Pleiades, which I think is Greek. I think that's the origin of it, but I could be wrong about that. But anyway, an old Japanese name for Pleiades, like way back in history, was HokiBoshi. HokiBoshi, if you were to type it out in Roman characters. And the only reason it's B is because in Japan, sometimes when you put words together to make a compound word, it changes how you pronounce those parts of the word, if that makes sense. So, like, if you have two words, like, pine and apple, when you put them together, it wouldn't necessarily be pineapple. It could be, like, pine snapple. Like, that's kind of how Japanese works sometimes, is when you take two words and you merge them together, it changes how the words are pronounced. So if you separate Hoki and Boshi, it becomes HokiHoshi. Boshi on its own is Hoshi. Kind of. Kind of. And I was like, HokiHoshi sounds better phonetically than HokiBoshi. HokiBoshi, like, sounds kind of fun and silly, but I like how HokiHoshi sounds. And HokiHoshi, what that means is, like, brush strokes in the sky. It's like brush strokes of stars. I don't remember what's what. I think Hoki is stars and Hoshi is, like, brush strokes. And I was like, oh, that kind of has, like, a cool little artsy meaning to it. So I picked up the name HokiHoshi because I was like, okay, it's kind of like a unique take on HokiBoshi, which is a unique take on the Subaru or Pleiades constellation. I'm a big astronomy nut, I'm a big Subaru nut, and I'm a big Japan nut. And so it kind of fits all of those. And then I didn't actually even use it for my YouTube. The whole reason I came up with the name HokiHoshi was for a Guild Wars character. I always liked to name my Guild Wars characters after, like, random astronomy things. And so I, was like, ooh, what should I name I think it was my Mesmer in Guild Wars 2. And so, yeah, like, my main character in Guild Wars 2 was HokiHoshi. And then when I made my YouTube channel, that was just, like, the screen name I was running with at the time. Was like, oh yeah, I'm playing a ton of Guild Wars 2. My main in Guild Wars is HokiHoshi. I like that it gets shortened to Hoki. Like, I just think that's kind of a fun little, like, easy shortening. Is like, oh yeah, it's Hoki. Because that's like what people would call me, you know, in Guild Wars. Anyway, there's the long history lore of why it's HokiHoshi. Also, we didn't break 18 at all. We gotta run it back. We were, when I'm not focusing, my lap times drop by like a second. So let's go back to 35:35. All right, let's go back to 65:30. And let's drop our diff. Let's run like, let's try like 50-20. Let me play with that a little bit. I can't recreate this. Ain't that a fact? Oh, Stiggy, nice. Yeah, I've been kind of stuck in IR hell because I'll have a good race and then a bad race and then a good race and then a bad race, and I just get these swings of, like, you know, 80 to 90 I rating back and forth because I'm not consistent. I just do not have consistently good races. I always bin it. But hey, it'll be good to have somebody that's, like, similar to me. We can keep tabs on each other. Matchmaking working as intended. True. That is true. Yeah. Hoki will be my benchmark for when I try to set a time this Saturday. Yeah, my best time so far was, what, an 18.4? It was like a mid-18, right? And then we haven't been back. Largely because I've been not focused on the driving. I've been yapping. But, my, like, consistent timing has been low 19s. Low to mid 19s is what I can get reliably. But we're messing with the tune. I want to get to, like, a reliable 18. And some of that's just going to be actually getting good. Outlap was pretty good, for what it's worth. I love iRacing because I like how it costs you $2,000 to get everything in the game. Probably more. No, so my history with iRacing, I bought iRacing years ago. Probably like 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, $2,000 is generous. Yeah, that's a low amount. 2K is the starter pack, right? Yeah, I bought iRacing a few years ago, but I can't do subscription fee games because I'm just too ADD. I bounce around. I'm not like a... You know, there's two types of gamers. Some gamers have like a couple of games, maybe even just one game, that they play forever. You know, people, like, there are some people that, like, they just play World of Warcraft. And, like, yeah, they'll bounce around, they'll try little things, but, like, they've got those, like, core games that they just always play. A lot of times it's an MMO, but for sim racers, you know, it's iRacing. I'm not that. I go through phases. I'll play something really heavily for, like, a month or two. Ooh, hey, there was an 18.7. Oh, hey! Look at us! We got an 18 again! Alright, we might be dialing it in. But yeah, I am not like a solo gamer. I'm way too ADD. I bounce, I fall in and out of every game I play. And so for me, I hate paying for sub fees because it turns it into a job. It makes me not want to play the game because I feel like I have to play the game. And with iRacing, like, I'm not always playing iRacing. Sometimes I want to go play something else. Sometimes I don't want to play iRacing. A lot of times I don't want to play iRacing. But I'll go through waves and be like, ooh, I really want to play iRacing for, like, a few weeks. But that just doesn't work with a sub model. I don't like wasting my money if I'm not going to be playing a game and getting my value out of it. So I stopped paying for iRacing. I stopped paying for it a few years ago. But they do big sales, and they recently, for, I think it must have been Black Friday this year, I don't remember. They recently had a sale where for $70, you could get iRacing for 2 years. Now, the normal price for that would be, I think, like $300. If you paid monthly, I think it's like just shy of $300 to get iRacing for 2 years. And it was on sale for $70. So I was like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to buy 2 years of iRacing, and then I'm not going to worry about the fact that it's a sub-fee game. Because I basically just paid for a full-price game, and I have access to it for 2 years. And so now, I think I'm like 6 months into that first year. And I bought a lot, you know, I've spent maybe like $200 or $300 already on, you know, cars and tracks, but that's iRacing for you. But I don't feel like I have to play. I feel like I can take long breaks and I'm not wasting my money. Oh, that was really bad. Because instead of paying like $15 a month, I'm paying like $5, you know? So yeah, that's that. All right, this was not a great lap, but I feel like we're on... This is still an 18. That was... I feel like we just figured it out. This is, I think, our tune. At least close to it. Because I can't build an unlimited amount of cars IRL, Horizon and some motorsport gives me the closest immersion to that lifestyle as possible. So I try to play and build realistically so often. Dude, that's where a lot of my... like, tuning ethos comes from. It's living out my IRL car fantasy, and I want to build the cars that I would build in real life. Totally. I wanted someone to race with, so I bought my buddy 3 months for Christmas. I've been forcing him to do endurance races with me. Yeah, I have not done an endurance race yet. I've got a couple buddies that keep trying to get me to do one, and I haven't. Mara says I've got 17s easy. I'm sure if I locked in, I could get one. And, like, just actually put together a good lap. The tune feels very good, though. And I'm sure I'm just kind of getting used to it as well. Hey, Dude Mars, yeah, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for your advice, as always. Giving me those pro tips. This, I think, is going to be a banger. Ah, not quite. But that was, again, that was another mid-18. If I can put down consistent mid-18s, I think I'm doing okay. I would like to be faster, though. Because if I think Alan can get probably consistent low 18s. And if I'm going to have any chance to beat Alan, I got work to do. I got work to do. I don't understand iRacing when you can hop on Assetto Corsa and basically emulate the same race. So I love Assetto Corsa. I've got hundreds and hundreds of hours in Assetto Corsa. The big thing with Assetto Corsa is just that it does not in any way have the online structure that iRacing does. That's its only downfall. iRacing's physics are great. Visually, it's great. Mod support is great. You play iRacing, though, because of the online. The online is just so much better. And the level of simulation in iRacing is a little bit better in terms of simulating damage, simulating like debris on the track. Like Assetto Corsa, if you go off track and like drag gravel onto the track, that's not simulated. Maybe with CSP they've started to figure that out, but I think normally Assetto Corsa does not like simulate debris on the track, and it doesn't do a good job of damage simulation, not as well as iRacing. So iRacing, like not just talking about car physics, but like the overall level of simulation when it comes to like track surfaces and weathering, like, you know, track weathering and damage and like weather conditions, and it's simulating more stuff. Just in terms of, like, how it feels to race a real car with real dynamic conditions. And so that's where it kind of separates itself from Assetto Corsa as well. Is, like, the amount of stuff it's simulating is just more. And then it's just way easier. You know, with Assetto Corsa, you need a lot of mods. You need to sign up for LFM, but, like, LFM has a way smaller pool of players. It's good. LFM's good for what it is, but it's just not iRacing. It's just not iRacing. And, like, the rating just doesn't ultimately matter as much, in a way, you know? But it is expensive. I mean, I tried to avoid iRacing for years by getting, like, really into Assetto Corsa and, like, going through LFM and stuff like that. And it's good, but it's just not as good as iRacing, as far as, like, the level of competition and, like, the quality of racing that you can experience. And to some people, that's worth the premium. But it is a premium. Oh, no, I didn't notice I got an 18.3. Wait, did I beat my time? Yay! I'll take it. 18.4. Yeah, I feel like we're pretty... Oh, I screwed it up there. Like I said, I feel like we're pretty consistently getting into the 18s here. Learning the track a little more, learning the tune a little bit more, completely scuffing our final lap, but still. I've had this dilemma with FF14 where I just felt like I wasn't really enjoying the MMO itself, mainly for the people I met. Plus the monthly sub, with few built-in systems where you get punishment for not logging in each time interval, which means not paying subscription. Yeah, I mean, that's how they get you with a lot of games. They just want you to always be logging in, always playing, always feeling it out. All right, we got an 18.4. Is there anything else I feel like I've kind of got it locked in. I think the gearing's in a pretty good place. I'm using all the gears and there aren't any awkward shifts. ARBs kind of feel good. Damping is maybe... Let's drop damping a little bit. I'm going to try dropping damping and then give it one more go. Just to give that rear end like that little bit more stability. And then I might, you know what I might do? Okay, hold on, I need to... So it's backwards, which means if I want more stability under braking, I move it towards rear. Correct? If I want more braking on the front, I move the braking more rear. Yes. Okay. I always have to like do that in my head. it's like lefty loosey, righty tighty in my head, but it's backwards. All right, let's try that. Some minor adjustments. MMOs are chat rooms with games attached. It's all about people. That's very true. Although it's tough, if I will say, one of my least favorite things about like the modern era of gaming, and I think a lot of people miss this. Like if you grew up, if you're like 10 to 15 years younger than I am, you kind of missed this, because these days we have social media. Facebook exists, Discord exists, TikTok exists. Like, we have social media that's not gaming, that exists outside of games, but that wasn't the case back in the day. Games were really like the first big, like, publicly available social spaces like that. Like RuneScape and World of Warcraft and whatever else, like, they were so social because we didn't have social media yet. There was no such thing as Facebook. There was no such thing as Discord or Ventrilo or, you know, whatever else. Maybe Vent did exist back then, but and so to get your like social fix, I feel like I messed up the car. It's a little tail happy now. To get that social fix, to like talk with people around the world, you had to log into RuneScape. You had to log into World of Warcraft and like talk in your guild chat. And nowadays, all that stuff exists on Discord. Or like WhatsApp chats or, you know, whatever. Like, it just all exists outside of the game. And there's way less reason to be social in games now. On top of that, like, wikis exist. Like, it used to be information in, like, RuneScape or World of Warcraft was passed, like, you know, ear to ear, mouth to mouth, whatever. That sounds weird. It was by word of mouth. There wasn't just, like, a wiki you could go to. And, like, sure, at a certain point, there were websites and stuff like that. But it wasn't just like everything for every game was super easily accessible to everyone. And that's kind of how it is now. So like, you don't need to ask how a quest is done in RuneScape. You don't need to ask like what's best in slot in World of Warcraft, because you can just go on the internet and find out. And so there's like, not only is there way less reason to communicate in MMOs, the communication is also moved outside of them through things like Discord. So it kind of sucks. Because MMOs used to be these, like, massively social experiences out of, like, necessity. Because there was no alternative. And now there are alternatives. And there just really isn't a reason, not a good reason, not as many good reasons to be really social in MMOs anymore. And it's kind of killed them. And, like, obviously some MMOs are doing fine. World of Warcraft is doing fine. Final Fantasy is doing fine. EVE is doing fine. You know, so on and so forth. They survive. But, like, so much of what I used to get out of MMOs back in the day was that, like, social experience. Of, like, going into the main town or city or whatever of the MMO and just, like, watching trade chat, like, just explode. With people just, like, like everyone just having conversations. You log in and guild chat's like blowing up because everyone's just chatting about whatever they were chatting about. Yeah. Also, yeah, guys, I think we screwed up the tune. I'm gonna go back it out. I remember getting cheat codes and guides from magazines. Used to buy a ton of them. Yeah, I have in the corner of my room a bunch of PC gamer magazines that, yeah, would have stuff like cheat codes in it. And you're right, yeah, Ami, the age of new MMOs is kind of gone. It's kind of gone. All right, shit. What did I screw up? I think I had this was a little bit closer to here. What I did something else. Oh, braking. Yeah, let's bring that back to 50. All right, let's see. Yeah, all the MMOs that are doing well are old. It's, you know, Guild Wars 2 is like 15 years old now. Guild Wars 2 is 14 years old. World of Warcraft is like 20 years old. Eve is like 20 years old. RuneScape is like 25 years old. Elder Scrolls Online is like a decade old. Final Fantasy 14 is, depending if you go by the actual first start or the Realm Reborn start, is what, between 10 and 15 years old? I think that was like 2014-ish. Yeah, Ami, I really should have done that. Yeah, like there aren't, like what's the most recent successful MMO, at least in the West? ArcAge, maybe? But even, I think ArcAge is still like 2016-ish. That's about a decade old. Concord? Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what even was like the last big MMO to come out. Have we gotten like any big Western MMOs within the last decade? I can't even think of any. Hey, I bring sad news. Oh no, my Xbox appears to have died. I'm gonna try and replace the HDMI port due to 2 pins snapping off in there, but I doubt it'll do anything. Dude, Dragon, best of luck to you, dude. I hope it works. I hope that fixes it. That sucks, man. I'm sorry. Also, let me take this chance to read chat, because I'm sorry. You guys are saying so many like nice and meaningful and thoughtful things in chat, and I'm just like letting it all scroll by. Also, Ami, yeah, your above message about any idiot can make a Forza. Oh yeah, New World. Although isn't New World like getting shut down? So you're totally right. New World was the newest big Western MMO, I think, to come out. And that was what, like 2019, 2020? I want to say. And it like had a, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's getting shut down. I'm pretty sure they officially said like, yeah, we're shutting it down next year or something like that. Yeah, I don't know if I'd say that was successful, but absolutely, I had forgotten New World. I never played New World. I thought about it. I definitely thought about it. I have a bit of a different experience with people in games. As times go on, I'm more glad I don't have to interact with people as much, because my experience was either passive-aggressive hostility or just being frustrating to be around. Yeah, I mean, I think that can be said for a lot of games. You know, if you played, like, League of Legends, it's a toxic wasteland, and yeah, sometimes, you know, like, even for me, in World of Warcraft, like, sometimes raid leaders were just dicks. They were very elitist. There's a reason that one of the big websites for WoW was called Elitist Jerks. Because people were elitist jerks. And that was kind of a play on that, but it was true. Yeah. But I don't know. And I like it, honestly, more because I like being a fly on a wall. I don't necessarily... Like, I do absolutely cherish all of my memories, most of my memories, like, in WoW, in RuneScape, and in Guild Wars, whatever. But I also just like being a fly on the wall. I'm not a super sociable person in video games. I'm really not. But I like being around. I like that feeling of being surrounded by people. And I feel like that's just not the case anymore. Also, Stiggy asked if RuneScape's good to get into now. I'd say so. You have to choose if you want new RuneScape or old school RuneScape. They're very different games these days. They're very different games. Although new RuneScape 3, has been doing some good stuff lately. They've been removing a lot of the microtransactions. And it's a much more modern game. Old school RuneScape is a little bit of, like, nostalgia factor. But I think a lot of people would still argue it's a better game. I don't know. You can play both if you want. But I'd still say RuneScape is a really fun game to get into, even if you never played it. I think it is, anyway. Which would you suggest? That's hard. Old school is more popular, I believe. I'm fairly certain old school still. It used to be. And I'm pretty sure it still is. Old school is more popular. Old school has, like, less microtransaction stuff. But again, RS3 has been getting way better about that lately. So that's less of an issue. Old school is simpler. A lot of the mechanics, a lot of the gameplay mechanics are simpler. Maybe that would be the differing factor. Old school RuneScape is better if you want something simple that's not that mechanically deep, but is still kind of like just fun to explore and fun to grind. New school is much more mechanically... RS3 is much more mechanically deep, which has ups and downs. There's a lot more going on in RuneScape 3. And there's a lot, like, more stuff to... I wouldn't say there's more stuff to do. I mean, I think there kind of is, but, like... I don't know. I really don't know. I would say maybe start with old school. And if you do like old school, you're gonna really like it. But if you don't, and you're like, wow, this is stupid, I'm just clicking on trees and whatever, then maybe try RS3. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say RS3 has more universal appeal. Old school, like, it takes a certain type of person to like old school. Also, we're getting back to our 18s. I saw I got a low 19. I got like a 19 dead. I just got an 18-6. I think this is it, guys. I think this is the tune. I think we gotta lock in on this one. This is where I feel the most comfortable. We're still not at Alan's pace, but maybe I just have to accept that. Hey, Neko, good to see you. Is Warframe... Yeah, so, okay. A lot of people call games like Warframe or, like Destiny MMOs. I don't really consider those to be, like, a true MMO. Those are, like... We need, like, another word for those. MMO Light? MMO-cade? What's the middle ground between normal multiplayer and MMO? Because that's what they are. I don't think of Warframe as an MMO at all. Like, by some definitions, yes, it technically is. Same with Destiny. Same with, like, Dune or Rust or Conan. Those, like, you know, big server or Ark. I don't consider those to be MMOs, though. Yes, MMO as in medium multiplayer online. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, I just, you know, sometimes they say, I think Warframe, like, markets itself as an MMO. At least lightly. I think Destiny marketed itself at least a little bit as an MMO. It's not what I consider to be an MMO. For me, like, Eve, RuneScape, WoW, Final Fantasy, like, those are MMOs. Guild Wars, that's an MMO. Arcade, which, man, I do miss my Arcade. What a lovely game that was for a brief period in time. Phantasy Star Online, we had limited lobbies and people you see. Oh, RPG. I don't know if I ever really remember that. Just online RPG without the MM before it? Sure. Yeah, I don't know if that term ever graced my ears. It has to have an open world, yes, where you can stumble upon people, not just a hub. Right. In Warframe, you'll never, like, randomly run across someone in a mission. That's not how that works. There are hubs with a lot of players, and same with Destiny. Like, Destiny, technically in a lot of areas you could run across players, but it was very small servers. And then obviously there was the, it wasn't called the Guardian, whatever the, like, little home base place was. But yeah. All right, what's this lap gonna be, by the way? 15. I don't know if this is gonna be... Yeah, that was like a 19.2. Not that it was a great lap, but... Yeah, Path of Exile, right. PoE has, like, the hub. I call that, like, a hub and spoke sort of thing. Where there is, like, a central hub. You know, like, Monster Hunter. In Monster Hunter, you know, like, you can, like, join an online server. But, yeah, I don't... To me, that's MMO light, if you want to call it that. Or just, literally just an online game. It's just an online game. It's not massively. You gotta have the massively part. You gotta have... That's an important part of the MMO. That's a bad line. Alright, dudes. We're gonna wrap this... Oh, this is the last lap, actually. So we're gonna wrap this one up. And then I think that's gonna be it. I think we're locked in. Alan's gonna kick my butt. Unless I dive bomb him and run him off the track. But I feel like this is probably at least competitive pace to a certain degree. Alan's gonna walk away from me. But I feel good enough. That was a 19.3. But we can, if we focus up, I can get 18s. We'll see where we qualify. We'll see. Yeah, best lap was an 18.6 on that one. So I can get like a mid-18. We'll see. There was improvement, absolutely. I feel good with where we're at. Now I just need to work on the livery. I gotta work on the livery. But dudes, pull a Daytona T1. Yeah, I showed that on stream earlier. I am gonna call it right about there for the day. So yeah, the thought is I'm gonna be live on Sunday for this race. For the Pro Stock 100 miles of Red Bramble race. We'll see how it goes. That technically my first ever competitive race. I think. I don't think I've never done Team Wars. I've never done Racing Haven. I never did HTCC. So yeah, this is technically like my first comp race. Yeah, I've only ever hosted them. I've only ever hosted. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You gotta do some practice for the GT series. Nice. Very nice. Wyvern. No, Red Bramble Raceway, which is an inspiration of Gingerman Raceway in Michigan. Yeah. Yeah. 10 p.m. time for lunch. Good Lord, Ami. Anyway, guys, thank you for hanging out.